Hi everybody, I'm Mom and welcome to MomDas Life Handmade. In this video today I'm going to share with you all my favorite and popular Halloween DIYs. Hope you will enjoy them. And if you want to see more of these beautiful DIYs, that too within budget or sometimes for free, make sure you are subscribed to my channel with the ringing bell notification. Internet is full of images and I picked some images and I used a photo editor. You can use Photoshop or GIMP. I prefer using GIMP and I found a background which looks old, wallpaper like. I gave it some shadow, added some stack of books, added this month's calendar, October calendar here. And then for the accessories, I also printed another paper where I added a banner for Halloween, added some picture frames, some labels, and she's going to be my witch, and I added a witch's hat to her and another metallic looking label. So I got this to print out, and I have my 8x10 picture frame without a glass, and my today's DIY would be changing this thrifted 8x10 picture frame into a spectacular, rather spectacular Halloween shadow box. This is a regular 8" by 10" picture frame and I don't want to spoil it. I will use it to DIY a Halloween decor piece, a Halloween shadow box, which I'll use it for the Halloween and then change it all over for some other occasion, for some other holiday, some other decor. So I neatly took off the tape that was covering the hinges or the clasps, then removed the clasp and the backside support and then the backing which was holding the logo of the company. There is no glass. Next I took my printout which had the background and cut it to the same size as the backing for the 8" by 10" picture frame and then attached it to the picture frame and also added the stand backside of the frame. Next I cut out all the accessories from the second printout along with their printed shadows. I got a few toy items from my kids' stuff. There are little pencil caps which are in skull shape, insect, and an empty syringe or a vial, an empty shampoo bottle. I like it because of this knobby thing here. And I'm going to paint them in white, ivory white, because it will show better on this background. I painted my skulls white and then highlighted them with little black in the sockets, nose and the teeth areas. I added a little water to the shampoo bottle and my dirty brush which had a little white and a little black color. I just cleaned my brush into that to get that dirty water or dirty looking content for the poison vial. Next I used some glue and attached a poison label to my poison vial. Now for giving more three-dimensional look and more depth to my shadow box, I took the printed picture frame that I had and I attached it or stuck it with glue over a business card. It's thick paper and then I trimmed it to the edges of the picture frame, over which I pasted my picture and it will stand out well on the shadow box wall. Next I took my witch and to make her stand out in the middle of the room or to make her look like that in the chatterbox with a 3D effect and a shadow of her own, I decided to paste this picture over a piece of cardboard which is thicker than any other cardstock paper. So I cut a cardboard piece of paper in a slender shape as that of the witch printout, and I pasted the printout over this piece of cardboard. I did the same treatment for the plaque which says the Queen of Poisons. I attached it over the card paper and cut it out. Now I wanted to make a cloche, a magical cloche with magical content. So I took this piece of syringe, one can use a piece of empty vial or test tube, and I added a little rhomboid label to it. Added some shiny yarn inside it to imitate something like snake or some other reptile or something very creepy, and I used two paper strips which I rolled them to look like scroll. I fit them in and attached a little piece of cardboard as the base of the cloche. Now's the time. Now all my accessories are ready and it's time to assemble this. This is the room of the witch, and I made a broomstick. In my last video I'll put a link to how I made this broomstick on the card link above, and I'm going to place this broomstick here against the wall. So I'm just going to glue it. Next, this is a dirty vial of poison, and I'm going to stick it here in this corner. Again, glue it. This is a cloche of maybe snakes and scrolls, something like that. I'm going to glue it here. Maybe a skull here, so I'm going to place this skull here and the skull here. So these are all books of spells, magics and poisons. Now she's the Queen of Poisons and I'm going to label it here. I need to have my witch here and I'm going to glue her here. Because of the cardboard that I had fixed at the back, you can have a depth perception here. The witch herself is making a shadow on the room, so that's the reason why I had been attaching pieces at the back. Now this is the picture frame of hers when she was alive. So now I'm going to put it a little tilted here. Yeah, this. But that's done. Here is a banner, Halloween banner, and I'm going to attach it here. I also got some insects and I'm going to place there. This is a jaw that opens and closes. This is also funny. I don't have space in the room, so I'm going to attach it here, and the Queen of Poisons would come here. This is looking spectacular, and finally I felt that the room looked little too neat, and so I thought of adding some cobwebs. It was not fun without cobwebs. This was really a spectacular and fantastic DIY for me, and I really enjoyed making this. I hope you enjoyed watching this DIY video and would be interested in making such a shadow box for Halloween this year for yourself. For this DIY, I have taken a piece of cardboard. Now this is a long piece of cardboard and I folded it into half, like lengthwise, so that this end is open and it comes in alignment with the lower part, like this, neatly folded into two halves. Now my cardboard is approximately 11 inches now and 6 inches wide. So initially it was 22 inches by 6 inches. I folded it to get 6 inches by 11 inches long. Now your cardboard or your frame can vary as per however you make it. Now I'm going to take a scale and make a cone. Now while making a cone, I just mark it here and similarly on the other side. Now you see I left a wider base. It is not pointed because it will be difficult otherwise, so I kept a little wider base. And another thing to notice is the wider end of this triangle is the open side. This is the folded part of the cardboard. So now I'm going to cut these two layers together with a sharp knife, never with scissors. I have always said whenever working with cardboards, use sharp knife to cut it and not with scissors, because it will destroy the strength of the cardboard that way. Cardboards are easy to cut, just be patient and use firm movements of the hand. See, I've already cut through so many layers. Now this is how my cardboard frame for the wreath has come out. Now I have taken some of these fabric. These are recycled from the grocery bags which come, and I'm using some in white. I have cut them in 1.5 inch strips, thin strips. So there is in white, the soft sunny yellow, pale orange and very little red. So I'm going to start gluing this onto my frame. So I'll just glue it over my frame. First the bottom portion like this, and then go about wrapping it up. So I'm going to start with the white and then in successive colors. Now after white I start with yellow. So I'm using some tape to stick it together. Now finally the red one right on the top, and I close it with some clear tape. Now here I have my candy corn ready. Now I'll show you the pocket that is formed here, because I kept the open base of the triangle, the wider base of the triangle, so it forms a pocket in which I can insert things. So this forms the base of my unusual wreath. Next I have taken this cardstock paper. It's in deep aubergine color and has got a shine, a glaze over it. On the back side is white. It's basically part of a chocolate box cover. So I, with the pencil, have sketched the face of a cat, and I'm going to cut this out. Now I have this deep colored cat face. Now I also have this googly eyes but that makes it look cute and not scary. So let's see, we'll try making a scary cat because cat eyes are very different. So I'm just going to make a petal like this. I took a white small piece of paper, folded it, and have cut this out. These are not round, these are little elongated like the petals of flowers, and so I have got two such pieces. I'm taking three colored felt pens, black, light green and dark green, and let's make cat eyes. First the central slit in black, surround it with light green, and then give an outline of dark green. Now let's see which one looks better. I think this looks more sinister. Ooh, this looks groovy. So I'm going to glue this here. Slightly slanting. Very groovy. Next I take a popsicle stick. It was already painted in orange, but you can put any color, and I'm just going to glue it right at the back of this so that I can insert this in my wreath base. So I have my cat face. Similarly, I'll make a small little banner, another small popsicle stick, and I'll take a small paper for a banner. I've taken a pale yellow paper and I'm going to just write simply hi. I'm gradually tapering things down because I want to make the banner like this. So let's cut this piece out. You see, I've cut this like this so that it's just like it's flowing in the air. The air is blowing this banner. So I'm going to glue this as well. Let's keep the cat and the banner aside to dry and take the wreath form. I've got some hay here and I've cut them into manageable sizes. And remember the pocket that we made here? That was the reason why I made the pocket. So I'm just going to poke all this hay in. I had done this before and I lost the clipping, so I'm doing it again. So all this hay in, some dangling out, some standing up. So I'm just going to poke them all in. So once the hay is in, I'm just going to poke in the cat on one side and the banner on the other side. As if the cat is looking through this hay. Now I have some spiders. I'm going to dangle them here, or maybe just glue them. So I found a black little ribbon and made a simple bow out of this, and I also had some feathers, so I'm just going to glue the two feathers together no, here, like this, and then add the bow here. And then I just don't want to miss my googly eyes, so I'm going to glue them together here to look like a mummy face. So I think my wreath is ready, my unusual unique wreath for the fall and the Halloween. The only thing is to add an attachment for hanging it. I want to share with you another smart thing that I did. In the pocket I just added this paper clip, and I tangled a little loop with a yarn, and I can hang it so easily. Now on my wall I already have this empty frame that I use for decor, and I'm going to hang my wreath inside this frame. So here is the final look of my unusual unique wreath for this fall and the coming Halloween. I think this is spooky, cute and lovely for the Halloweens. A cat in a candy corn with hay and fall elements. I think this is really spooky cute, or spooky cat. I love the cat's eye, the hay, it's peeking through the hay, and there's a high in green and a creepy handwriting. There are spiders, black feathers, black ribbons, and a mummy kind of face. I think altogether it looks really nice. I love how it looks inside the frame. Actually, it looks just awesome when placed inside the frame. I think this is just so good. So my first DIY today is the medium size tin jack-o'-lantern from the Faded Farmhouse, and it is costed here $26.99 US. For this first medium sized jack-o'-lantern, I start with the rectangular rusted orange colored card paper. I fold a thin strip of 1 centimeter along the long side. I then folded the paper to get an idea where to have the face. I sketched the face on the paper as seen in my inspiration. Then I carefully cut out the face using sharp knife and thin sharp scissors. Next, I make snips on the 1 centimeter thick folded edge. This will help me glue the cap onto this. Next, I glue the two ends together to get a cylinder shape. One can glue it, tape it, or staple it. For the cap, one can use a funnel and paint it, or use some paper over it. I decided to do the whole thing using paper. So I took a white card paper and formed a cone. Then I measured the shortest edge, which will be the radius of this cone. Then using a ruler, I marked the radius measure and joined the points to get an arc. Next, I cut it to get a sector. Next, I made black bands with color pen. When the two ends are joined, it will form a cap. took a small rectangle and painted black stripes on it, rolled it and glued it to get a cylinder, which I glued over the cone cap to get the funnel shape. Finally, I applied glue onto the snips on the top of the cylinder and attached the cap over it. My orange colored medium-sized jack-o'-lantern worth $26.99 is ready for free. Let's move on to the next DIY, which is this large tin jack-o'-lantern, and this costs here $32.99 US. Again, I'm going to use some paper and make it for free. This one has similar construction as the first one, except the first step where I am making a galvanized card paper using some grey paper to start with, and I painted blotchily using a brush, and I painted roughly with grey and silver paint over it, smudging it randomly all over the paper. This time, the cap is orange and white, made in the similar fashion as the first DIY and attached to complete the big jack-o'-lantern. Next, I sketched the face on it and cut it out. I also snipped 1 centimeter cuts on the top edge and make the cylinder just as the first DIY. And here is my $32.99 worth big jack-o'-lantern. The last DIY, and I think really cute one, is the third piece. It is a little ghost and sold here at $19.99 US. And let me tell you, this is already sold out in the site. For this DIY, I started with a white card paper and shape of a quadrant of a circle. I painted black and orange stripes on the top where it will form the cap. For the rim of the cap, I took a small circular paper and cut out a rim about 1 centimeter thick. So this is like a circle but open at one end, and I'll show you why I kept it open. I joined the two sides or the radius of the sector to form the cone. Next, I took the circular rim and joined the two open ends so that it becomes a down slanting brim of the hat. I tried it over the cone and realized I need to paint another band in orange color to complete the hat. Final touch. I pinched the tip of the cap slightly and bent it down to match my inspiration. And here is the cute ghost ready. Here is how they look at night with the candles inside. I've put battery operated candles here. The ghost is cute. I love this jack-o'-lanterns. This one is fiery because you can see the flame inside. The other one has flame in the eyes. I think this is cute. This is beautiful. I love this. This will look great outside on the steps of the veranda or the porch. What do you think? Here is the final reveal in the daytime, and I think this looks great. I love this rusted pumpkin, the angry zigzag smile, the eyes, the hat or the cap, as well as this galvanized one. The smile with the broken teeth, it's actually quite funny. But then yes, it looks amazing. The ghost is really cute one. I think this looks really nice. What do you say? Compared to the price given in the high-end store, and these are handmade. Anybody can make them. You can enjoy making it with your family members. They will love it to decorate for the coming holiday. brighter. Here is my modern minimal Halloween wreath, complete with cobweb and spider, burnt black dark leaves, dark burnt copper ribbon, some dried branches with dried berries. The glamour touch comes with the metallic colors and the black and white monochrome against the wall. It's so modern, so sleek and beautiful. This DIY, I'm using this sign from Dollar Tree, and I had used this before. I'd removed the top metallic attachment and added a ribbon here and had made a welcome sign for the winter last year. I'd removed the florals from this, and I can use this sign again to make this Fetch Silhouette Halloween decor piece. So I'm going to use this one. This is perfect size, just exactly the way it is on the sides, on the site, and I can use it exactly like this. So a circular sign as this. Then I will need beautiful orange cardstock paper. Now I had this paper at hand, and therefore I'm going to use this paper. I'll trace the outline of the circle over this and just cut it out and paste it over this to get the orange background. Otherwise, one can just paint the whole thing using some acrylic color. Now what I did is I kept the front like this itself, and on the back side I have glued my orange cardstock paper, and I've left this hanging attachment because anyways I'm going to need something to hang it. Now for the next step, I need the black witches and the moon silhouette on the front, and for that I have taken this black really hard cardstock paper or foam board paper, so something very stiff and strong in black. Now it has to come of the same size, so I just traced the circle using this as a template and got a circle in the same size. And then on the back side I will have, either I can sketch my silhouette, which I would prefer to do because I can hand sketch, or one can just print it out in a paper or a tracing paper and trace it over this, the same pattern. If you notice the original piece, the front piece doesn't have any bats, so the bats are on this orange portion and not on the front black part. So on this black part I will just have the moon and the witch flying with its cat on a broomstick. Now this portion was really painful, so if you can get a printout, just reverse it or use it as it is and cut out a silhouette and cut out a similar black paper or foam board for this, or you can sketch it because I did sketch it. So I'm going to show, let me walk you through the sketching portion so that it gets easier for you if you want to sketch it. So what I noticed, since I'm using the back side, if you are using a white pen, then it's okay for doing it over the black background, but it's difficult for me, therefore I'm just turning it around and I'm using the back side, which is off-white in color, and I can draw over it. So you see I have done a pencil sketch over it. I'm going to just walk you through, so if you want to make your own, you can do so. So the first thing, I just placed it like this and just eyeballed where my tips of the moons should be, and that was my guidelines to start. So I started from this portion and I want to end here, so I just went in a circular fashion. And here is my moon. Because it's a back side, I can make corrections without any fear. So this is the moon, and then for the witch, so first thing I made the broom. So making the broom gave me a guideline, so I just made the broom first. Now after the broom was done, I started with the witch. Now the witch has a very pointed nose and a pointed chin, and then a hand comes to hold the broomstick, and then her body has to come and her knees, and therefore a skirt will flow down like this. So another hand comes and holds the broomstick. So here, now remember, the more we have this joints, the more stable our cutouts will be. So all these points are joined, so it will be easier. And then I make the witch's hat, which will be actually the most prominent thing. So I just make the witch's hat, and then I have to make her hair and her cloak, which is flying in the air because she is flying on a broomstick. Now her waist and then the back portion, again joining with the broomstick. These are all joined together, they'll all cut out together, and her flow is cut. So let's make this cut, and once the skirts are done, from the knees comes down one leg, and she has those pointy silhouettes or shoes. The other leg, again a pointy heel. And then we need a cat here. Now the cat is sitting after the broom starts, and a shape like this, pointy ears, head, pointy ears, the face, and then a back, and then comes the tail. So now I'll just cut this out with a pair of sharp scissors. I need small scissors for this because there are a lot of fine areas where I'll have to reach and cut. I'm cutting very close to the edge and then taking my time to do the detailed cutting portion. For the portion that is inside, I'm using a sharp knife for this, and I'll make cut grooves through this and then maybe go with the scissors again when I have the opening here. Once the opening is made, I can come back with the scissors here. The reason why I'm sharing this whole tedious process of drawing and cutting is because there might be so many people like me who don't have Cricut or anything fancy that would help you make these items, and you might think that it's just not possible. Everything is possible. If you have the desire to make this, there's nothing that can stop you from crafting. So it's very much possible, and you can do this. It takes a little effort, little patience and some hard work, but one can do this. As I told before, don't try to do everything in one go. Take your time and do the details slowly in next step, next step. Honestly, it was really hard work, but hard work pays, and here we have it. Let me just trim this part. Now, the most worrisome part here is, I think I'll just take a marker and put some black paint around this edges, and that will do fine. Now, the problem will be, because this broomstick is very thin, I need to add some support here as well. Now you can see this witch and the cat and everybody is making a shadow against the orange background, and exactly that's how we want it. I absolutely don't mind being called thrifty or resourceful. That definitely helps. So these are those pieces, the bigger pieces that were cut out when we took the silhouettes. So I'm going to use exactly these pieces to make my bats. The reason is, these are of the same size as the leftover background, and if I make my bats on these spare pieces, I will have the bats in the size that would fit very well in the background. Isn't that intelligent? So let's keep this aside, and I have drawn some bats already, and I'm going to show one more just for a demo for yours. Making bats is very simple. Bats have ears, so you can make ears like this, like a stretched M. So we've made a stretched M like a cat head or a bat head. Then we have the wings like this, and then we have a center point little below it and a tail. Here is our bat ready, and I'm just going to cut them out with the fine scissors, just the way we did the silhouette. So after cutting the silhouette, this will be a piece of cake. It will be just so easy. So here we have the first bat, and similarly cut out the rest. Now with this piece still lying flat against this, I'll position it. So this is how it's going to hang. I'm going to position it such that the tip of this comes right in the center, and this is how it's going to be positioned. And now simply I'm going to take these cutouts and glue them in these spaces left behind. So therefore using these papers was so much useful. So now I'll glue them exactly at these points, 4 bats. Just neatening up these edges so that this white pieces of this paper doesn't show. Now comes the toughest part, how to make it stand over this at a height. So I found a way out too. So we have, I found this gap. Now the speciality of this gap is the cross section area is like a square, so it can lie flat against this surface as well as flat against this as well. So, and the width, the side is such that it can easily hold my battery operated small candle. So this is a perfect size lid, and taking this as the template, I use some thermocol here, which is easy to cut using a sharp knife. So I've cut the small pieces which are of the same height as that of this gap. So now these will form the pillars, just like architecture. So these will form the pillars over which my silhouette of the witch will rest, like this. Isn't this really smart? Now the first thing that I'll do is paint all these pieces in black. Now this portion is little weak. To give it some strength, I'm using this little stick or skewer, and it's thin one, so I'm measuring how much I want and I'm taping it behind to work as a splint. So this will give some strength. Now you see it's more stable now. Now these pieces are dry and I'll glue them onto this. I'm just making sure that these are placed such that it's not seen from front. Well, it will get seen from the sides, but it should not get seen from the front. I think I am in totally love with this rich silhouette candle holder. The candlelight behind this is making it look more spectacular. What do you think? The witch flying against the moon, the bats in the sky, isn't this perfect for the coming Halloween? Isn't it beautiful? And you would really love making it. Compared to the $28 that you saw on the site, mine just turned out to be around $2 to $3. That's it for the existing sign from the Dollar Tree, some black cardstock paper and that orange paper, not more than $3. I think it's a great deal. Hi, welcome one, welcome all to Hocus Pocus. For the first DIY, I surfed internet and looked for some banners for Halloween. I found this witch's brew and arsenic poison very appealing. One can get printouts and use them. I decided to sketch them on a piece of paper with a pencil. Then I finished them with a black felt pen. To give it an aged look, I used some crayons from my kids' stuff, and I used a biscuit color crayon and the brown crayon on the edges to give it an aged, old, seasoned look. Then I cut it in shape and pasted it over a stained glass, and my 2 bottles of witch's brew and arsenic poison are ready. My second DIY is inspired by an Instagram image, and I made my own sign over a brown paper using black felt pen, and it read "Home of a wicked witch, a handsome devil and their 2 little monsters." That's my family. And like this, and I cut it into size for a picture frame. I took my picture frame and removed the existing paper, replaced it with my code, and just fixed it back again, and I love this one. For my last DIY, I took some brown paper and cut them into 6 pieces for my banner. I made 6 of these pieces for the word spooky. I wrote each alphabet in each separate piece of paper using a black color, and I did it roughly to give it rough edges and not so neat, to give it that little spooky look. And then I pasted them on the jute string using a craft glue. And my bunting or banner is ready. Arsenic poison to our drink, which is brew. Look at this one. Home of a wicked witch, a handsome devil, and the 2 little monsters. Dark candle thought. This is my Halloween. I hope you did not miss my latest DIY on Halloween. It was made just yesterday. Do check it out on my channel. Thank you all for your support and appreciation, and I'll see you soon. Take care, be happy, be creative.